I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for Investment Pitch Media, and today on the Crypto Coin Show we have Michael Luckhoo, co-founder of Cirus Foundation, once again back on the show. Michael, it's great to see you again.
Thanks a lot, Ashton. It's been a while. I'm happy to be back here.
It has, but I know that there's been tons of updates since our last video with Cirus, and the wallet is moving forward and thousands of active users, which I'm excited to dive into. And I know that you guys are doing something particularly special in the wallet space, and wallets are particularly important to the growth of blockchain and mainstream adoption. So I feel like it's of utmost importance to get a wallet right, that it has good user experience, growth, and allows people to get into Web3 easily. I want to dive into all of that, but let's just start from the top for those who haven't seen our previous interviews, or for those who aren't familiar with Cirus Foundation, on like what exactly you and your team are doing at Cirus, and then we'll dive into all those details.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Ashton. Really simply put, Cirrus is the forefront of building a Web3 solution that gives people pure ownership of their data and their digital currencies. We think that's the two pillars of primary tenant in Web3. So meaning that this is how people really gain access to all the benefits of Web3, all the applications of Web3, and we call this a decentralized web. Without these two components, really the movement for Web3 can't really happen. So that's really what we're focused on. We're really focused on building a solution that ties people directly into earning from their data, but more importantly, evolving them into new applications that are powered by their data and opening a world of financial opportunities across the world. Something we call open finance, but the idea is that anybody should have access that's unfiltered, not restricted by geo, not restricted by government constraints. And I think finally, we've seen in the past year and a half is that I think this is a need globally.
I love that vision that you have for a wallet. When I speak to people that are just getting into cryptocurrency, they go, "Oh, a wallet, that's just where I store my tokens, right? That's what the purpose of it is." And I feel like your vision for ingraining yourself in Web3 and actually having the wallet as something that you can earn from, and that you can have so much more functionality than just storing tokens. I feel like this is the next evolution of a wallet.
Yeah, certainly. And it's funny because there's so much, some miscommunication around what wallets are. Some people think traditionally wallet is just for transacting, right? So we just have it for spending and buying things. In the Web3 world, wallet is really your account. It's your identity. It's everything that's tied to you. So a little bit of confusion around the terminology, but really a wallet should be able to store digital identity solutions, connecting you to all the things that you are, really using day to day, storing your currencies that are sovereign to you, health records potentially at a later date, tied to the blockchain, and all of these things kind of combine. So a wallet is really an account for the user entering into the Web3 space, but more importantly, how they are able to create sovereign access to their digital assets. And that's really what we want to show. And that's why Cirrus is really focused on building a next generation wallet. We call this Generation 2 because the current wallets in the space from 2016 to 2023 have really just, like you said, been primarily focused on storing tokens, movement of tokens and swaps and trades. We think that the wallet space needs to evolve, and we need to evolve to really consume more wide-scale adoption. And so we're at a Generation 2 right now, where wallets will be better serving the person, more focused on digital intelligence, data identity, as I'm sure you're seeing across the world, a lot of discussions, topics on this space, and really preservation of assets.
Yeah, I love that approach. And when a team is building a wallet, it's of utmost importance to have security and safety of the user's funds, and as you're talking about in a version 2 of a wallet, their personal identity and whatever other personal information that they have. And that's not something that can be built in a day. I'm sure there's rigorous testing that goes on, years of figuring it out to make sure that nothing ever gets stolen or compromised, and everything is safe and secure, and that it's actually easy to use. I would love to hear a little bit on the backstory of how long you and your team have been working on this, and where exactly you're at right now.
Yeah, it's a really exciting point for us here at Cirrus, and I think, Ashton, we've talked for the past few years, even from my previous venture all the way to Cirrus, And a lot of it was about building and developing and, getting things together and more resources. So we're finally, able to launch, and this is exciting. So I'm happy that even just through our personal relationship that I can confidently come back on the show and say, hey, we have a successful product. It's in the hands of many users across the world, and they're using it day to day, which is amazing. We went through such a process to get here. I can't even begin to describe. We built it right from the ground up. All the technology components, all the audits we did. I think we did like 5 different audits, cost too much money, but for the right reasons. And then we really doubled down on user experience. We worked with one of the best design teams across the US who helped build concept cars, and making sure that the number one thing we focus on is ease of use and ease of experience. And that's really been our core of Cirus, making it at the most easy entry point into the world of Web3 and new financial access. And the way we do it is not just from user experience and design, but also making sure that people can easily tap into their data and use that as their first digital currency. So for people who never had access to Bitcoin or Ethereum, their first digital currency is really waiting for them, which is tied to their data. And that gives them access to, a whole host of applications. So we have launched, that's kind of the biggest news I guess we're talking about here. It's all been our focus on our product. Some performance stats right now, we've got a few thousand users that are under this sort of private wait list. We're inviting more people in every single week, lifting that gate as we scale and check our balances all the way through. So it's a step climb approach, making sure we're secure, we're covering all our bugs, any issues that come up, and we can capture that really quickly. So to this point right now, we have around 55% engagement ratio. So that means all the users right now are actively going back in, checking their updates, using the wallet. That's pretty high for a benchmark for a wallet. 92% of the customer base said they would refer Cirus to a friend, which gives us a really high NPS score, which is also really amazing. And we have less than 5% right now, probably closer to 3% in tickets. That means any bugs that arise and that we have to figure out, capture. So from a product perspective, we're performing pretty well. We're actually beating some benchmarks, and that's exciting. So now we're very comfortable to kind of lift this wait list and really bring this to the masses. But it's nice that we can come back into the show and really speak confidently of what we've built.
That's amazing to hear. Congratulations again. And I was able to try out the wallet in the early days, and I'll tell you, it has the sleekest design. It looks like I think you mentioned there you're working with some super cars. It does look very beautiful. I think it's one of the most sleek. It sort of has that like Apple kind of feel, where they just know exactly, make it simple and not overly complex, which crypto wallets can be. If you add in all these different functionality and the technical part of it, it becomes overwhelming for people that aren't involved in crypto. They're just getting it as their first wallet. I feel like it's very sleek and nicely designed, and it's great to hear about the feedback of the other users, and exciting for the next steps to go public and have it all hopefully reach millions of users. Yeah. And also I saw that the wallet is being branded as a wallet as a service. I'm curious on what that means, and in terms of the functionality and what it means for Cirus.
Yeah, this is a really unique revelation for us at Cirus as well. Through our building process of the entire past year and a half, we really became much more competent in what wallets require, how to attach different functions, features, storage, all these different things. Through this learning process, we were able to say that a lot of businesses and companies may have not had that expertise and are curious about, well, what does a Web3 wallet bring to their business? And so what we found is that the wallet as a service space is something very fresh. Only a few companies right now are entering the space. And we're able to develop a solution, and basically a wallet that ties to an existing business or a platform and gives value share to their customers. So meaning that as more of their user base and their clients integrate with their platform, they will be able to earn value directly into the wallet that's tied to their platform. So for example, you go on a website, that website sees that you're there and deposits a NFT. It says, hey, welcome back. Thank you for this NFT. Every time you come in, you'll get 15% off or discounts of our shoes, or whatever the case is. The cool part about that, as opposed to a traditional loyalty or reward point system, is that user can move that anywhere. When it's their wallet as a Web3 wallet, they can move that to a secondary market. They can trade it. They could sell it if they want. It's portable. There's a portability around that data and that asset. And so what we found is by giving the user of that platform unbound restraints on that movement of that piece of asset, they feel a higher retention to that brand and a higher affinity and loyalty. So they feel that they're getting more internalized value. It's not just some type of point system and, earn 1,000 points to come back and shop with me. So a lot of businesses are taking this new approach in where they create value with the user, and that builds a stronger digital community, and it brings back value back to the business. So this is actually my previous, kind of venture that I built before Cirus. So we're now actually able to deploy this. And more importantly, we have a major enterprise client that has signed up with us. So we are able to go through that process confidently and learn from that experience and really develop this. The second point, as wallet as a service, because I know it's really fresh and new, Coinbase, for example, Circle just launched within a couple of weeks the solution. Cirus is different. We really focus on not just giving an SDK kit out there and saying, hey, go have fun with it, and hopefully you can put a digital currency in there. We really want to integrate with that business. We want to show why data intelligence matters, why their users may want to use this wallet, and fine-tuning it so we understand it from a data perspective and a currency and value perspective. And that's something that is unique in the space. I think we're probably one of the first to really tackle that.
Wow, that's really cool, because once the power of this technology is realized by major corporations, if they have the tools, like something in Cirus Wallet, where they can better connect with their customers, be it any type of brick and mortar business or a coffee shop or enterprises, as you said, I feel like that what you said about having an NFT and then taking it away, and the owner of the wallet really gets to own all those assets, but they also are building loyalty in a new type of way to the businesses. I feel like that's going to revolutionize all businesses.
Yeah, and it's important for us because our ethos is adoption first, right? So as much as we can get a Web3 wallet out there to the masses, that's our goal. The direct-to-consumer approach, which is right now, you can use our product, you can use Cirus Wallet, is great because we have great advocacy in the crypto world. They're the most viral community I've ever seen. It's like 300 like Spartans. So they will always cheerlead your product. They will create natural marketing and awareness. So we're always going to be a consumer first approach because it brings the highest level of voice to what you're doing. But at the same time, targeting businesses brings in millions, probably over a course of a very short period of time. And that's what we're doing to give people access across the world. And working really well.
And one part that I like about the wallet, and I feel like a lot of people would like, is the fact they're actually earning funds in the wallet. And like a lot of people, they have that mindset, as you mentioned, about it's for transactions, for sending money or receiving money. But what about just earning money? I would love for you to talk more about the mindset of just being able to earn while you're doing what you're doing in sort of a passive income kind of way.
Yeah, that's a really good point. What we've seen from all our feedback is people love the surf and earn feature of our wallet. That means as you surf the web, you earn crypto because it's built on your data. So data is your digital currency. For example, last year alone, Meta made $113 billion from ad revenue spending off of users' data, and the person got $0 out of it. They got a free website. All these major companies, Twitter is no shortcoming of that as well, and other major platforms in Google. So we're finding that value has not been distributed, and the idea of distributed value across the internet needs to happen. It's pretty much inevitable at this point. With the emergence of AI, which is another very new form of rich data, we can't just hand that back to the centralized companies and say, hey, just harvest this and mill that into better technology and LLMs. That's really, really, really rich information that people are providing. And the idea for us to bring a wallet to market that gets people to just earn from their data is a passive income stream, but it's more importantly, it's about you being an owner in the space and being a benefactor of that. That's really the thesis of Web3. The cool part is we're not just paying people passively. We want to bring people into applications that give you new financial access. This is what I keep kind of pushing on because this opens the doors to people who have never had access to DeFi, never had access to open finance. And yeah, it's all built by their data, which is an easy thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a catastrophically sized issue with the amount of money that Facebook and Google and the ad people are making, and many people don't realize that, you know, if the product's free, then you sort of are the product. And I think that we're seeing a paradigm shift with things like Cirrus Wallet, but also with you know, Twitter. It seems like now something has shifted where the creators are able to earn for, you know, they're just sort of using the platform and creating engagement and creating value and creating content, and for that they're actually earning funds. I feel like this could be the start of something where, you know, people are going to realize that they're entitled for either their data or their content or their time to be receiving some kind of compensation. No longer should they become the product.
Yeah, big time. Your time is value, right? And we know that we're sucked down with all our time and energy day to day, and vying for attention is the number one key metric that brands and companies are looking for. What's really cool right now is that from the TikTok world over now to YouTube and now back to Twitter, the creator economy is being paid at a greater rate. So that means they're becoming part ownership in these platforms. I think that's a turn of the tide, and the next evolution of that isn't just a creator economy, it's an owner economy, meaning the users now also get paid and be part of that. So the creator on Twitter, who has a really good subscriber base and putting out really good content, if you're an early subscriber and that platform is earning revenue from their advertising, maybe you get a part of that. Maybe you become part of their subscription revenue source. And that's a really interesting model because it creates a more direct relationship to the creator. It creates a value incentive for the users. And people are more advocates when they have something at the table, when there's a real stake at the table than just a, you know, a tweet or a comment. I don't want to give all this away for Elon or X.com or whatever he's calling it right now, but we would love to support the Web3 model in some of these platforms and at least provide guidance. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I have a feeling that eventually they're going to be adopting some kind of wallet as a service or some kind of wallet, but you guys are ahead of the game. So props to you for, you know, understanding that not only should people be able to earn funds, but it should be able to go into their own wallet, and they should be able to do whatever they want with it in a decentralized way. I'm not sure that's going to happen on Twitter. It might be some, you know, direct to PayPal or some Web2 kind of stuff. But I feel feeling like we're going to get there, and you guys are paving the way for innovation. So with that said, I also saw that there is a Cirus Innovation Lab, which is sounds pretty cool, and you guys are already doing a lot of innovative things. What is all included in the Cirus Innovation Lab, and what are you guys working on there?
Yeah, that's a great point. We, you know, this entire month, probably over a month and a half, we traveled to see all our partners across the world. We went to many conferences. We went from Bahamas to Chicago. We had a Web3 investment conference I had the pleasure of speaking at. And through all of these initiatives and our partners that we've actually been working with, we want to create a joint hub where we can bring and invite innovation in to our application. This is not just about Cirrus building it and us being a homebrew type of innovation. We want to include a form of governance where research and development, other initiatives from the community could come in, applications can be linked and built on our platform, and it's inviting to the community. I'm kind of hinting towards a potential governance protocol model that we look at developing later this year. That gives everybody access to what we're building at Cirrus and the voting and inclusivity on what we want to build. We're not just forcing what we think is right. We want to listen. And I think from an innovation hub, which was really well led from our team, Julia and Michael, Mike is really kind of instrumental to building out a very clear process in how we handle innovation. And a lot of that was built on fundamentals of how we rate and how we score things and really where the user adoption is coming from. So that's really what our innovation lab is focused on. We'll leave, I guess, speak more on the partnerships that we'll have tied to that as well later this year.
Very cool. And that sort of sounds like a little bit like getting the community involved and almost having more decentralized governance or just feedback of everybody that's using the platform.
Big time. Yeah. Governance token could be a thing in our near future.
Hmm. And looking at the Web3 space with specific to wallets, I know you've been working on this for years, so you've probably been following sort of the wallet ecosystem industry. Do you think that this wallet as a service is going to be a status quo moving forward, or all wallets will be sort of version 2 wallets in the near future, or how far along do you think the wallet industry as a whole is?
Yeah, this is, it's really amazing because I've been here in the space for many years, and so we look at the wallet space and we're like, wow, there's a lot of wallets out there. There's MetaMask, there's these other applications, and so what's new to be built? Really, that was the first iteration of wallets, and that's how we see it. We looked at all the data across the internet, and we actually compared that to the early states of the internet. The Web3 wallet space, or the Web3 space, is growing on track, similar to the adoption of the internet. So when people didn't even know what the internet was. And we're now at a turning point where we need a version 2. We need a new leap in innovation. And that just doesn't exist right now. People really want to choose how they use a wallet. Some people are confused with custody or non-custodial, or where their data is being stored, or can they get paid from it. And all of these different components, what we're doing is we're creating a very modular way in which users can integrate with the wallet space, build pretty much a wallet of their own that really ties to them, almost like the website builders. We're giving hints here, the early states of the internet. So we've looked back at the history and really saying this is what's happening now in the wallet space. And the data shows that 24% compounded annual growth rate in the wallet space year over year, and that's continuously growing. So it's still a very unsaturated market. Only less than 1% of the world right now still has a crypto wallet. So even if we move that to 5% or crossing 12%, it's a massive space to grow into. And we are happy to be the second iteration of that sort of growth phase, introducing new components to a wallet. And that's really important for us. I think the iteration aspect of innovation needs to happen, very similar to early days of the internet, and we're seeing it again. So data shows, the growth rate shows. We're having real conversations with businesses that are saying, hey, you know what, we want to incorporate this into our business in the easiest way possible, which is the wallet as a service space as well. And that's just all happened really within this past year.
I really like that, because when you look at the strategy of building a wallet and you look at version 1.0 wallets that are out there, a lot of these innovators, they're not just looking at how can we make this 10% better? How can we make, the swaps 0.1% cheaper? Or how can we add other tokens that, this wallet maybe doesn't support? You're thinking way ahead of that, of like what are the functions that people aren't even thinking of right now in what wallets will become decades down the road, with all of the infrastructure that's going to be built out around it, including the identities and the finance functionality built in and everything else. So you really have a long-term vision that I'm seeing here, Michael.
Thank you, Ashton. Yeah, really appreciate that.
And so for the next year, the product is launched. I'm sure it doesn't stop here. There's probably so many things to do. What are some of the things that you and your team hope to achieve in the next stages of growth and getting to hopefully millions of users?
Yeah, so we are in this later part of the half part of the year. We are in sandbox testing for the wallet as a service space, specifically with a enterprise client. That gives us access to millions of users. We'll make an announcement exactly who that is shortly, and we want to invite a new way of thinking of wallets. So how they exist with the centralized currency exchanges, how they exist with other platforms, really ensuring sovereignty to those assets. And I think we've seen a need for this, especially considering what happened with FTX earlier in the year. So our real focus is solving inner issues, obviously, in the industry, and bringing a solution that people haven't even tried yet. I think that's something, a part of innovation, really pushing that boundary. So our wallet as a service initiative is why we are able to now attract new capital to the table, new institutions that are actually backing us, which will hopefully within the next month make announcements of. The capital placements we're getting from real institutions are saying, okay, well, how do we help advance the technology here with Cirrus? And that's a really amazing thing for us to have. This is not just an inner crypto world. We're kind of expanding outside of that box right now, and going into the end of the year, along the lines of having a real governance type community. I'm hinting at this again. That's really on the roadmap. And then early part of 2024, we will touch on the modular Web3 wallet space, specifically to what I just said, the idea that you can build your own, and we'll be able to advance that. So a lot in store. Yeah.
Definitely. That's super cool. I'd love to, people in back in the old days when they just had, paper wallets as we have in our pocket, you want to choose your wallet, what can you put in it, how many pockets, what type of material, what kind of cards that have what kind of functionality in there. And I feel like through the ethos of Web3 or decentralization, or own your own funds, own your own data, we should be able to customize what we want to own and what we want to have in the wallet. So I feel like that's part of the long-term goal as well. So I'm glad that your team is in line with that, and all the best on this wallet as a service. I feel like that's a great way to go from thousands to millions of users overnight if you get the right partner. The direct-to-consumer model is more of an uphill grind where you're already fighting people, you're fighting for customers that are already in the Web3 space, that already have another wallet, trying to tell them why it's better, when what we really need is the Web2 users, or just everyday people in real life that are working with these large companies. All of a sudden they onboard a Web3 solution, and the customers of their company don't even know that it's Web3. They're just looking for advanced functionality to connect those consumers together. So I feel like that's a great approach to like exponential growth. So all the best on that. And so for the people that want to follow along with that, and just for the people that want to try out the wallet and the earning function and just see what the UI design that I talked about, it's super sexy. What is the best way for them to get started on that and learn more?
So what we could do, we'll drop a link right here in your channel, and anybody who clicks on that link for your community, we'll give them instant whitelist access to our product. Awesome. So I'm kind of dropping the bomb here on the team, but you know what? We're going to do it. We're ready to do it. We want to do it to your community because, Ashton, you followed us right from day one. It's really important that we work with the people who have been our backers. So that's within 24 hours, everybody will have access. Please start using it. Wow. Check it out. Give us feedback as much as possible. Jump in our Discord. Chat with me directly. That's probably the number one thing we could do. And then we'll drop in what we've been working on the past few months called our July in review, or feels like our year in review because there's so much been happening. But Julia really helped build that out, and the team. And we're trying to be as transparent as possible. All the uphill battles we faced, all the hardships, all the feedback we have, and how we're improving ourselves. I think the best thing is being as transparent as possible. It's going a long way with us. And we'll share that in the link as well, too.
Highly appreciated. And it's nice to hear that you're being real about it, because we've both run startups and SMBs, and it's a tough game, but that's what it's going to take to deliver an amazing product to millions of users. So keep up with the great work. I will leave those links in the description box. Thank you so much for that link to get access to the wallet, and I'll leave the July in review in the description box as well. All the best with everything with Cirus moving forward, and let's follow up in the near future.
Thank you so much, Ashton. Looking forward. Cheers.